Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Comic Book Chronicles. I'm your host, Roddykat. You can find me at Roddykat on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can find me at CBCaps on you can find me at News Nerds Need on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can find me at CBCaps on Instagram.
South Carolina with Columbia down the way.
And sound effects you've heard come from none other than our man in Brooklyn, @agent_70 on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads.
What's up, everybody? Co-hosting from the borough of Kings, live and direct. We're happy to be back.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
Where are you, Cap? Cap, I'm looking for you. Where are you?
I understood that reference.
No, not that one.
I can do this all day.
No, not that one.
I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
There you are.
He's intentionally giving me stuff to edit now. That's great.
No, leave it in. That stays in.
You'll see about that. But folks, you can find this here podcast on the Kliqsoftheweek Podcast Network. That's ESPN.us.
Do it today. I mean, it's on the YouTube and the video, so it should just stay in.
Nah, you don't know how much I cut out from per week. But anyway, that is beside the point. But yeah, you can find us on your other podcast perusal places of choice, whether it be Google Play, Apple, iTunes, Google Play, all that kind of good jazz. Kliqsoftheweek, Spotify, and the Kliqsoftheweek Podcast Network SoundCloud page. And I can't edit that one out.
Make sure to click like, subscribe, and leave us all the positive 5-star reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that helps people find our show.
Indeed. What up, Devon Gloom, who's in the chat, says you'll be joining us soon, a band of vipers. Indeed.
That's right. What's up, Von Gloom?
Which now I want to ask you if you read the book we were talking about earlier, but we'll get to that in a little bit because we'll probably bring it up at the very least. Actually, we'll bring it up now. So there was a G.I. Joe Kliqsoftheweek thing book that came out this week, and we didn't get a copy of it before the show, sadly enough. But apparently it's out there somewhere. So maybe we'll talk about it next week, actually. As a matter of fact, you know what? We might make a special case to bring it up next week, just in case if it happens to be something of note. Which
I'm just gonna hunt it down. I'm just gonna end up hunting it down over the next several days, just to make sure that I can secure a copy.
Right, and I feel like if I trust my shop the way I do, should already have a copy of it, but we'll see. Oh, apparently Von Gloom didn't know about it. Yeah, so there was a book that supposedly came out this week that we saw listed called G.I. Joe's Kliqsoftheweek, G.I. Joe, Kliqsoftheweek, that I believe is a one shot, but we had a chance to check it out. So because come on. Of course we were gonna read that if we had a copy of it. So
exactly.
Actually, I kind of wanted to think about it. So wait, did you open up your Kliqsoftheweek box?
I did not open the figures. I opened up the box. If you recall, when we did our post San Diego show, I was able to open it because by itself it opens into like a cool display. Do you remember?
Right.
Where like the band is already kind of in position. So, but I never actually took them. I never took the figures out of their packaging, but I opened up the box. I guess the box that it normally comes in, like the shipping box.
Because I asked, because now that I think about it, because I remember I did that because one of those. The set that I got, the Solilla and Jetfire set had a comic book in it. And I couldn't remember if that also had a comic book in it, but I don't remember because I was
Oh
checking
no,
out.
I don't believe so. I
Yeah,
don't believe
okay.
so.
I didn't think so because I wonder if it would have been this exact same issue would have been the thing they would have put in there, which should have been, you would think, but
Right,
if it
right. You
if
would
it was
think,
out in
you would
time,
think, but exactly. I think those two things were not exactly conspiring
right,
to work together.
right, like one might have beget the other, honestly. So at this
Right.
point, so
Exactly.
but anyway, that is neither here nor there. Well, that is it is what it is because like I said, we will probably talk about it next week, regardless. If we remember to do so, or whenever we talk about next week. But we'll get into that at the end of the show. But right now, though, we're going to start off the show with 8 to 70 talking about last week's episode of Peacemaker, which was, now that I think about it, episode 6, season 2,
Correct.
episode 6, which was called, I totally absolutely forgot to get the name of it. But it is called, actually, I vaguely remember. It's like something about Chris. But hold on for a second. It is
It's not that everybody hates Chris.
no, but it's something. Ignorance is Chris. That is the name of it.
What's that?
Ignorance is Chris.
Right. Okay. So I'm not going to spoil it completely because Roddykat still has not had an opportunity to watch it, even though it is last week's episode. And obviously, as of the time of this recording, we still not have had an opportunity to watch episode 7.
Right.
So, Roddykat will have quite a bit to catch up on once this show ends. Once this episode that we're recording now and broadcasting now ends. What I will say about episode 6 is that much of what we had discussed on about this Peacemaker show and our thoughts on some of the rumors and suspicions turned out to be true, and the reveal worked. Right? It absolutely did work, and despite the fact that that we had picked up on many of the hints that may have been super subtle and some not so subtle, but ultimately I think the reveal worked. I think that the story is taken a turn for the surreal in a sense because too much of it just seems very uh, let's just say is very analogous to the world we live in today. I'll also mention that I feel that I kind of bump on the fact that the reality that is being referenced in this series actually is referenced in the DC multiverse, right? It actually exists in the DC multiverse, where and under a certain title, right? And this particular title, Earth Blank, I'm not going to completely spoil it, but Earth Blank has a different connotation for me in the Marvel universe, right? In the Marvel, multiverse, as it were. So I think that I kind of have to, just kind of jog my head a little bit, jog my brain a little bit, and get the two concepts straightened out, and don't, so that they don't kind of not conflict, but definitely bump up against each other in my head. Ultimately, though, I think that at least for episode 6, I like the execution of the reveal. I like uh, how the characters seem to develop the reveal and kind of walked into, kind of making it so that it should have been obvious or more obvious from the start. But, listen, that's part of the storytelling, and I think that was pretty well done. So, bottom line is, I'm looking forward to catching up with where Peacemaker is now in the penultimate episode of the series that's out this week. And next week, we have, our own personal scheduling conflicts that we're also going to talk about at the end of this episode. But, Peacemaker is going to come to an end, at least this season of Peacemaker is going to come to an end next week. And we will see where this all ends up because it would be the eighth and final episode of season 2.
Word. We're talking in the chat about a certain character. But yeah. We'll leave that there though. So yeah, I will get to the last week's and this week's. Actually, it's probably for the better because they were gonna blend together either way. And I guess maybe as we will talk about later in the show, it'll make next week's a little easier to catch up on as well. So, but you know what? That will be that, and that will be for then. Right now, and whatever ramifications that episode has on the future of the DC universe, we'll get to a little bit later in the news section. But right now, we're going to get into the comic book section with, well, folks, it's the only book that we actually have in common this week, which is absolutely funny, but not an absolute book. As we both read absolute books, but not the same one. It's a whole thing, folks. It's a whole thing. But the book that we have in common is Batgirl number 12.
Batgirl number 12 is written by Tate Bromble with art by Takeshi Miyazawa. Inks are by Juan Castro. Is it Castro?
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm looking at my
Castro.
notes. I'm like, that's a typo because I definitely do not remember this guy's name being Castor, like castor oil. So
Close.
It is, in fact, Castro. Colors are by Mike Spicer and letters are by Tom Napolitano, another lettering paisan. So we are in the next chapter of Batgirl's continuing adventure of discovery in the wake of the passing of her mother, Lady Shiva. And it's still mildly jarring to see how verbal she's become, and seeing her express herself in so many words. I think obviously the biggest draw for me in this series is the art by Takeshi Miyazawa. It's always great to see his storytelling and his artwork in interior pages. So bottom line for me is, this is a good first issue in the next big arc in this series. So, now we've got kind of Batgirl rebuild, reestablishing where she is in the adventure with additional help and additional friends along the way. And with that, I'll hand it off to Roddykat.
Indeed. And it's kind of funny you mentioned her verbosity, because it's not the only book that mentions that in a book that I'll talk about later on. In fact, we got a cameo by a couple of people from said, well, at least one from said book, but one that's been a part of the group, as basically, Kaz does a check-in with the birds. Draw pun intended. Yes, indeed. But yeah, Kaz checks in with the birds of prey, who kind of worried about her. So we get a little bit of that. We also, as Agent 70 kind of mentioned, the starting point of this next arc, we do get a little bit of catch up for folks who are just who happen to might be coming into the book with this issue as to what happened in the last arc. So yeah, so you kind of get a little bit of that going on, and yeah, the whole thing with Nisa Al Ghul is a thing now, because that is where their quest sent them, and who offers Cass some help but of course she needs something in that just so happens to be aligned with something Cass is already trying to deal with, already. But of course, as Agent 70 said, the friends and the help, we have her newfound family, who, as I said in my notes, is, and I said this nicely. I know Agent 70 would have another word for him, but he's a little excitable, a little brash.
Yeah.
The new dude, who who feels a certain kind of way because of the way he was raised, which kind of goes slightly against how Cass operates, and in a ways, but nevertheless, Cass, being that this is Cass' book and she's kind of the one leading this whole part of the thing, he kind of has her way. So, and we get some good old fashioned action at the end from Cass, because the most of the book has been either internal monologue and or we've seen them kind of walking and talking as one would happen in the video game sense, up until the end of the end of this issue. So great book. Still a good book. Actually, I see a typo of my own in this, but that's fine, because I'm sure you won't see it if you look at the show notes, which you can, which will be attached to the show. So there you go. And with that, that's the book that we have in common. Rapid fire.
All righty, folks. Rapid fire review time. Here we go.
I ain't got time to bleed.
All right, first up for me is Absolute Evil #1. It's a one-shot from DC Comics. It's written by Al Ewing, with art by Giuseppe Camuncoli and Stefano Nessi. Colors are by Romulo Fajardo Jr. and letters are by Tom Napolitano, another lettering paisan. So, what I told Roddykat about this issue is that since he's only keeping up with one of the Absolute books, I still think this is an important book because it touches upon all of the Absolute books. This is the bad guys side of the Absolute universe. So we've touched upon in the Absolute books, all of the, or many of the Absolute versions of the DC heroes. Now we're dealing with, some of the major DC villains that are, in a sense, working together, right? And so that is the, that's the conceit of this particular one shot. And it's definitely, I think, worthwhile to read this and just kind of get an overview of how the other Absolute characters are viewed through this particular lens, through this lens of maybe not a Legion of Doom, but they call themselves something very specific, and it's, obviously twisted because of the nature of the Absolute universe. So, when you see it, I think you'll get a kick out of it. Next up for me is Gotham Academy, first year #1 of 6. The stories by Brendan Fletcher, Becky Cloonan, and Carl Kerschel, kind of like the OG Gotham Academy folks. The script in this book is by Brendan Fletcher. The art is by Marco Ferrari. Colors are by Eva De La Cruz, and letters are by Steve Wands. So I was a big fan of the original Gotham Academy, which was first published back in 2014. I mean, seriously, 2014? I had to look that up. For real?
I'm pretty sure we talked about that on the show.
Oh, we absolutely did. So I remember collecting it. I definitely fell off it in the sense that I forgot a lot of what happened towards the end of it. I was reading the wiki article and I was like, I do not remember a lot of the later stuff, and it makes me think that I missed a lot of it, or just kind of breezed through it, skimming reading wise. Bottom line, though, is this issue is the start of a new series that is a prequel. So a lot of relationships still have not formed. We're starting to, we see in this book the beginnings of meet cutes, as it were. And obviously, you have to remember that Gotham Academy was always like a tween audience type of book. But obviously still set firmly in the DC canon. So, at the end of the day, if that doesn't float your boat, it should, because it's still fun. But and the art is pretty spot on. So, I'm probably going to keep up with this as best I can. Next up for me is the new Batman #2. This is the Fraction Batman. It's written by Matt Fraction, with art by Jorge Jimenez, colors by Tomo Mori, letters by Clayton Cowles and Jorge Jimenez. So I still am a little behind in terms of where the DC universe is right now, especially what's happening in Gotham, because there's a particular character who has taken over as commissioner of police in Gotham City. And I'm like, why in the world is this character commissioner of police? I have to look up how this happened. It seems silly to me, but what are you going to do? It's DC Comics. It's comics in general. It's just, silliness abounds. Right. But, the story's well done. I really like some of the little fun bits that Fraction and Jimenez put in that, could be mistaken, I think, for camp, but I don't think so. I think it's just fun, they're fun little storytelling and sight gags that work, that are also storytelling props and storytelling tools that they use, I think, in my opinion, to great effect. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man #13. It's written by Joe Kelly, with art by Pepe Larraz, colors by Marte Gracia and Eric Arciniega, and letters are by VC's Joe Caramagna, our favorite lettering paisan. So, if you need a quick recap as to how we got here, the handy dandy recap page at the beginning of this particular issue of Amazing Spider-Man will be very helpful. And I suggest reading it because I needed to remind myself how we got here. And at the end of the day, we're dealing with Spidey in space with some guest stars that we are familiar with. So when you see this story and you're trying to piece together how it all fits together, you kind of get it. Is it a cheap ploy to get some fun characters that you would rarely ever see in the pages of Spider-Man, in the pages of an actual Spider-Man comic? Probably. But, it's still fun. I'm still not 100% on board with this run of Amazing Spider-Man right now, but this was a pretty fun issue. Next up for me is White Tiger Reborn #1. This is one of the Marvel Voices books. This is for Hispanic Heritage Month. And the first story is written by Daniel Jose Older, with art by Bruno Abdias. Colors are by Marcelo Costa. The second story is written by Cynthia Pelayo, with art by Moises Hidalgo. Colors are by Dono Sanchez Almara. Letters in the book are by Ariana Mar. So this book, consisting of two stories, really recenters the White Tiger character in the Marvel Universe, because we really haven't seen much of Ava Ayala or some of the other people who have been successors to the White Tiger mantle over the last several years, but now we are firmly retrenching here with Ava Ayala as the White Tiger, dealing with her legacy, with the legacy of the original White Tiger, as well as dealing with the previous holder of the mantle. That's the second half of this book. So bottom line is, if you're looking to get caught up on White Tiger with a slight refresh as to what this character is going to be able to do going forward, this issue is for you. Last up is X-Men Age of Revelation Overture #1. You know, I read the title of this book to myself, and all I could think of was Overture, Curtain Lights. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's written by Jed McKay with pencils by Ryan Stegman, inks by J.P. Mayer, colors by Edgar Delgado, and letters by VC's Clayton Cowles. This is an important book because this gives us the what happened at the end of the last issue of Adjectiveless X-Men, because we get a tease of that in Adjectiveless X-Men. We find out what has happened, why this Age of Revelation is happening, what is actually happening with this Age of Revelation. We still have several questions that need answering, but we're kind of hitting the ground running and getting a few things established so that we can move forward. So we'll see where the storytelling takes us, because this is going to involve lots of different tie-in books, lots of mini series that are basically taking the place of the regular X books at the present time over the next several months. So we'll see where this event goes. This is obviously meant to echo Age of Apocalypse, but obviously with the update in the story involving the heir of Apocalypse. Right? If you didn't keep up with that particular story, the heir of Apocalypse, you're kind of caught up on it very quickly. It's not necessary to have actually read that to just kind of jump into this. It gives you just enough notes to get the gist of what happened, and you can move forward. So, in terms of that, in terms of fulfilling that purpose, I think that the issue does that part sufficiently. Maybe not, overly well, but sufficient. And you can be content with knowing that that basic part of the story is taken care of. You can see how all of these, it's yet another version of a possible future for mutant kind and for the Earth, told through this particular lens, which is the heir of Apocalypse. Maybe not winning, but definitely having an age of his own, much like the Age of Apocalypse. And that's it for me.
Cool. Real quick before I go into mine, I was gonna mention some stuff from the chat, but chat wanted to
Age of his own.
Chat wanted to die out on me apparently for a second. So here we go. Let's see. Von Gloom says the cops should know better in Gotham. The story definitely felt like a crime noir book that was for talking about Batman. And I had a question about who the new commissioner is. Is it Bullock?
Mm-mm.
Because I know it's not Renee Montoya in the book. She got ousted.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. When you see who it is, you're going to say, what
the?
That's
interesting. So it's probably Riddler. Got it. Anyway.
Oh, no.
Emotional damage.
No, seriously, it's not.
Gotcha. But and also Von Gloom says about Amazing Spider-Man, Pepe is definitely the reason for him to continue with Spidey. And about that X-Men Age of Revelations book, he says it's funny how many of the future mutants became fodder for Doug's death.
Right.
So, therein lies that. And now I can close. Well, I guess I didn't have to close that, but I did. So that being that, we'll get into my books, which starts off with Speed Racer #3. I should have gotten a soundbite for this. Teehee. Written by David Pepose, art by David Tinto, colors by Rex Locus. So, if you're watching the video version, you can see the mixtape cover that is the cover of the book, or a mixtape cover. potentially. That is that book, which the character does show up. So Speed basically talks to his thought to be dead brother, which, if you know anything about Speed Racer canon, is Racer X. Speed Racer runs into Racer X as he was getting into some trouble trying to find out some information and deal with, who went after his pops at the garage, which happened to have something to do with the cat team. And yes, it is the CAT team, which that T stands for team. That's still gonna bother me. So, but either way, they have a run-in with each other, and then, some things happen. There's a race, of course, because it wouldn't be Speed Racer if it didn't. And you would think it went one way, and it doesn't, and which led to an unexpected team up, or maybe expected team up, coming out of this because of what happens. So yeah, the nonstop action within the Speed Racer world, but interestingly grounded in a sort of way, about as grounded as it's going to get for Speed Racer and what normally happens. If you know anything about the anime / cartoon, actually I don't know, is it categorized as an anime? I don't know. Either way, therein lies that. My next book is Absolute Green Lantern #7, written by Al Ewing. Art by Jason Howard and Riley Rossmo. Colors by Inaku Azpiazu. I apologize if I butchered that name. Letters by Lucas Catoni, which reminds me of something I was going to mention with Absolute Evil. Al Ewing would be the reason for me to read that book. And partially the reason for me to read this book also. Now, the funny thing about this book is, we are inclined to say about a certain writer and a certain penchant for mumbo jumbo that writer tends to have. Well, Al Ewing seems to have tapped into that mumbo jumbo in this issue, because we start off with philosophizing over the DC colors, mystical colors, and the mumbo jumbo does not stop there, as we get a mostly space issue with some things going on there, and we see some characters from the Green Lantern universe in not exactly the same way that they would be in the Prime DC universe, let's just say. There is a character that one is known for calling folks Poozers that shows up. And they are not wearing green. They're not wearing green at all. So, in fact, a couple of normally green wearing characters in the Prime universe show up here not wearing green, and in a fashion that's one. It's not necessarily Galactus and a Herald type situation, but part of it kind of feels that way, because they are basically hunting down folks that are aligned with the green, and a one or two other colors happen to show up here in this book, including one notable that is known for wearing the opposite of green, let's just say, at the end of this. But for the most part, high order, as I say in my notes, high order mumbo jumbo is on display here in this issue of Absolute Green Lantern. And I say that not as a knock against it, but it is definitely there. Next book is the book that I alluded to earlier with Batgirl, and that is Birds of Prey #26, written by Kelly Thompson, pencils by Sammy Basri and Vicente Cifuentes, inks by Vicente Cifuentes, colors by Adriano Lucas, and letters by a vacationing Clayton Cowles. I love saying vacationing because, because he's with VC. But anyway,
moonlighting, really.
Yeah, I know, but that's my tongue-in-cheek way of saying that. I mean, they're free artists. They can do in and out of the stuff they're the people they're aligned with. Regardless, though, we get a little bit of Batgirl and Canary action in the form of an infiltration before their main mission goes off, which is they're still dealing with the whole Shadow Army situation. And as amusing as it seems, there's some video game things going on here because, well, video game and just gaming in general things going on here because for their main mission, they have to infiltrate a video game event. But first, a real world, almost Pokemon Go like event, but some would call it a scavenger hunt, is also happened that they have to do something else because Batgirl was like, you know what, something don't seem right. And, you know, basically it's like the crew wanted to skip to the end and to get to the final boss battle, and Batgirl was like, no, we got to go through these side quests and see what else they're trying and see what else is up before we get to before we get to the finals and get wiped or something, basically. So they do that, and one of the members are way into it, and Barda's bored because Barda just wants to punch stuff, as you do, but she gets a wish later on, so it's fine. Which leads, you know, the crew to go on a nice little scavenger hunt, whatnot. So it was an amusing, fun time with this, but also, of course, this all leads into the fact that this book is getting canceled in 2 issues, sadly. So the final fight is absolutely coming, and no pun intended because it is actually the thing. And of course, well, not even and of course, but and I don't know if this was because of the book is ended. I'm pretty sure it might have was, but Canary's kind of feeling a certain way as she's you know, interacting with various members of the bird. So, you know, she's having thoughts and things going on as this whole mission is going on. So it's a whole time. And let's see. Next up is Justice League: The Omega Act special one shot number 1. There you go. Written by Joshua Williamson, art by Yasmin Putri and Cian Tormey, colors by Yasmin Putri, and letters by Dave Sharp. So this is the prelude to DC K.O. And speaking of Mumbo Jumbo, there's technically a little bit of that here too, but not in the same way as I just mentioned with Absolute Green Lantern. It's kind of in another way. So we get a little bit in the past at Krypton with Superman's mom and a friend of hers as they curiosity gets the best of them, and then we cut to the present where technically things are still going on with like Time Trapper and whatnot with the Justice League, who's talking to Booster Gold about his his involvement in things, which have things to do with recent issues of Superman, which apparently I did not know. But then again, reading Justice League and read this kind of there's footnotes and whatnot abound in that. So if you did not know what was going on in Superman and you're even remotely interested in what's going on here, you might want to check that out. I don't know. Let's just say. But yeah, there is that. There is, Booster Gold was Time Trapper to do some mess, and Time Trapper's like, nah, that's not going to happen because Darkseid is. Time Trapper's like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and show you. You might already know what's going on, but let me go ahead and show you what the deal is. But of course, there is some intervention by a noted time. Let's just say a noted person who's known for messing with time themselves that happens to be aligned with the Justice League. And if you're watching the video version, you can see who that is on the cover, and including the other homage to another DC event by that the cover does. And they all go on an adventure in the future, which leads to coming back to the present and revving up DC K.O. in a way that doesn't, I want to say doesn't make sense, but weird. I'll just put it that way. Just because like they did all of that and all of this, and then it was like, oh, by there, here we are. We got to get into this, but that's like, okay, so that still doesn't explain that well about what this is supposed to be about. But it does service the way it does go in the way of servicing, an explanation. I'm not going to sit here and say it's whether it's a good one or not, but it is one. So there lies that. Last but not least is New Avengers #5, written by Sam Humphries, art by Tiago Palma, color artist Fabi Marquez, and Matt Miller, and letters by VC's Joe Sabino. So, the team might be a little bit over their head because one of the Killuminati, who just so happens to be the clone of Reed Richards, has been doing some experiments and some other stuff in this small mountain town or smallish mountain town. The team kind of goes in there and see what's going on, and it's all kind of a thing. Weirdly enough, at the beginning of the book, Black Widow tells a story about the days of Korvac. Let's just say, if you know anything about the Avengers history and that particular story, she tells an unknown story from that time, which has the team cracking up. But it's all in service of, I guess, banter, not team building, or I guess for lack of a better word, getting them hyped to go on a mission, even though the story has nothing to do with that. But it was an icebreaker. But the team goes off and do the thing, and they're all in over the head, so they have to call in the big gun, who, might be a little bit heavy-handed for this, but it ended up working out in the end, because whenever in trouble with the Avengers, you call on a Hulk. And sometimes when that happens, things happen, for good or for ill. But we end up finding out some things like how the Killuminati was made. We get a little bit of banter between Wolverine and Namor about the Silver Surfer, which is an amusing couple of panels, or an amusing panel. Carnage is being Carnage in here, which that whole thing with Eddie Brock being Carnage is still a weird thing, but I'm not even going to sit here and look into any of that. And last but not least, Bucky starts to believe in the team, kind of reiterates the name of the book, and it also names the new lead just in time for there to be a swerve at the end of the book about something they found out a couple of issues about ago. Or actually, it's something they didn't find out, but that the audience kind of found a little bit about, with the exception of who was kind of behind things, or who it seems to be behind things, let's just say. But yeah, that's going to be going into an interesting next issue, especially since a couple of people from the group, known for already being together a couple of lifetimes ago, are kind of rekindling that spark. So yeah, that's going to be something. And with that, that's all my books. Kliqs of the week.
Kliqs of the week.
Von Gloom in the chat says, hope that damn Chimp and Spritle aren't running around messing things up like they did in the anime. Yes, they are. Let's just say they do definitely cause a little bit of trouble in those similar ways. Actually, they do some some things that they do in the comic books. I mean, they did in the anime. At least one particular thing specifically that they did that kind of caused a little bit of trouble. Von Gloom also says Hank McCoy is committing time frackery into DC now. No, no. Somebody is. And it is who it is definitely known, but the wheres and the whys and the wherefores, some of it's explained here and some of it is not. But I guess that'll be explained when we get into DC K.O. But you have your potentials.
Sure. I have as a potential Kliq of the week, Gotham Academy, first year, #1 of 6.
Of course.
I think that surprisingly, X-Men Age of Revelation Overture, Kurt and Lights, is definitely a candidate for Click of the Week because it does, as I said earlier, a good job of setting up what's going on for this event. Right? Because we really didn't have anything in the regular series, the various regular series setting it up like solidly, and this was like I think a necessary issue to understand what's going on and how we're moving forward. And I think that I think Batman #2 was good and Absolute Evil #1 was also good, but I think my two candidates are Gotham Academy First Year and X-Men Age of Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a decision. How about yourself?
For myself, as I actually pull up a book that neither one of us read, my potentials are, I don't know, it was a light week for me. Actually, Birds of Prey, that's one of them. That book is fun. New Avengers, that's another one for a couple of interesting moments that happened in said book. And I slightly want to put that Justice League Omega Egg book, but that thing is kind of out there. In the most DC way, honestly. So
sure.
Whether that's good or bad for you, that's it still is, just like Darkseid. There's a couple of moments in Absolute Green Lantern that would interestingly enough make it, but probably won't. So I think I'm actually going to. Well, actually, before we get in, do you need a little bit more time, or you got yours?
No, I'm going to go with X-Men Age of Revelation Overture #1.
Right.
Just because of the magnitude of what we're going to have, what has to be conveyed in order to understand what's happening in the X books for the next couple of months.
Right.
It accomplishes that. So I'm going to give Click of the Week to that book.
Well, Strange. For me, yeah, I'm going to go with the Tide and True Birds of Prey #26. That book's always fun. So, especially out of the stuff that I've read this week, and then stuff that I did not get to, I can't really talk too much about. So that being that is that. But I would want to mention a couple of other books before we go into the news. Captain Planet #5 came out this week, and I didn't get a chance to check that out. That G.I. Joe Cole Slither book, there's a cover for that, just in case you're interested, or that's one of the covers for it, if you're interested in it. For those watching the video version, there was another cover, but I didn't pull it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 #3, or excuse me, #2 was out, and I didn't read it, even though I did read that first. I didn't get a chance to read it, even though I read the first issue. And what was the other? Oh, VR Troopers #3. That was another one. I think I might be an issue behind on that one. So, as with things. But with that, folks. Oh, and Star Wars came out this week, and they get into some stuff, but I didn't get a chance to read that all that much. So that's that, folks. There's some stuff out there for you to catch. But we are going to get into the news of the week. But first, an ad read.
Our first ad read of the night is for Blue Apron's meal delivery service. Blue Apron, fresh ingredients and incredible recipes delivered weekly to your door. Skip the grocery store and make incredible meals at home with Blue Apron, always shipped free right to your home. And now the listeners of the Comic Book Chronicles can get $30 off your first Blue Apron order. To place your first order with $30 off and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website at cspn.us, that's cspn.us, then click on the Keep Our Podcast Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down to the Blue Apron link and sign up for your first order. Blue Apron through cspn.us. Do it today. And now we get into the news.
I now I remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask slash say Agent 70. Gotham Academy is basically the Strange Academy before the Strange Academy. Would that be
Kind of.
safe to say?
Kind of. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's very similar and obviously very heavily influenced, I think, by the success of the Harry Potter series.
Well, yeah, I guess that is true too. I'm sure there are other things that. Well, Umbrella Academy could be put in that, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right.
And other such books, but yeah. Either way, cinematic news as we do about this time. First up, good news for X-Men 97 and your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man fans. So apparently, I think this was basically is going the way to saying we almost had a date for the next season of X-Men 97, but that might be the next article. I could be wrong about that. But there is a quote here from Brad Winderbaum, head of Marvel Studios Streaming, Television, and Animation, who had some good news to share with fans looking forward to future seasons of both of those shows. And the quote is, "What's exciting about the next few years is that we're going to get subsequent seasons of X-Men 97 and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on an annual cadence," which I think they said as much previously also. But so every year there will be a new season and we can map out our longer arc to those stories. And he was talking about this promoting Marvel Zombies, which I care much less about. So hearing that about these two shows is better, let's just say. And on the X-Men 97 front, the next story.
Alrighty, so on the X-Men 97 front, it's very dark. A lot of people die. X-Men 97 stars Amaze Disney greenlit season 2. So, give me 1 second to scroll down past this. Let's see. So this is from Ross Marquand. At a Walking Dead panel at Fan X Salt Lake Comic Convention, and Marquand was asked if he could tease anything about X-Men 97 season 2, and he says it's very dark. He continued, "I play Apocalypse also, so there's a lot of scenes for himself as Apocalypse. He's dressed in rags, which is kind of weird, but okay."
Sure.
Yeah, I had to jump around this particular article, so.
Yeah, sure. Real quick, Von Gloom in chat says the kids have a connection to Arkham Criminals and Gotham Academy, which, yeah, I believe that was part of the conceit. I think Croc was looking out for the main character because he knew her mom, and there was a teenage Man-Bat as well.
Right.
Yeah. Next up, Marvel Studios sets the record straight on Marvel Zombies Season 2. So again, this is talking with Brad Winderbaum. Let's see, who was talking to CBR apparently, and discussed where Marvel Zombies might be headed next, should it be greenlit for season 2. Let's see, and the quote is, "Co-creator and director Bryan Adams and I geek out all the time about the Marvel Universe. There's so much lore baked into this thing and so many stories to tell. And and here comes the show, folks. And if people subscribe to Disney Plus and watch the show, we may have an opportunity to tell those stories." So yeah, therein lies that. And then it goes into, the history of the Marvel Zombies animated, going back to What If. Next up.
So the Fantastic Four First Steps movie is available on digital now and is going to arrive on 4K and Blu-ray October 14th. So now we're getting an exclusive behind-the-scenes clip explaining some of the incredible work done by Digital Domain on the blockbuster film. We've gotten a visual effects reel that helps explain some of the things we saw, especially or including Ben Grimm's beard in the movie.
There is no explaining that. I don't care what they say. that was just frivolous but funny. Yeah. Wait, does it say when we're getting physical release? Because I still
Yeah, October 14th.
Oh yeah. Okay, you just said that. Yeah, cool. Looking forward. Next up. Tom Holland says he's on the mend after Spider-Man Brand New Day set injury. Feeling better. Ding. I don't think that was his exact quote, or maybe it is. So Holland took to Instagram because he was promoting some other thing. Promoting the recent gala for the Brothers Trust, a non-profit run by the Marvel Stars' parents. Okay, that's probably done. But the article goes on to mention that, the Brand New Day was paused after Holland got hurt on set back a couple of weeks ago, and production is set to resume on September 29th, which at this point already has. And according to this article, the delay will not impact the film's release on July 31st, 2026, which I'm almost fairly certain is a placeholder date. Let's see. And it says here there's some stuff filmed back in August for some behind the scenes stuff. And him saying how fun it was to put back on the suit and whatnot. There you go. Next up.
Daredevil Born Again originally planned a Punisher and Echo episode where the two spend an interesting night together, but not romantically, but narratively. Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they retooled and had a fresh pilot and season finale filmed. That was the original story, and they were going to do a singular bottle episode around the Punisher crossing into the Daredevil space, but that was 2 to 3 years ago. So, things have changed since then.
Yes, indeed. More ways than one, sadly. Yeah, I'm curious as to what the episode would look like. I was like, how would you even put those two together? Maybe not why, but how? Like what could have possibly have brought them into each other's Daredevil, that's a dumb question. But regardless. Next up though. Hey, guess what, folks? Star Wars Vision Volume 3 is coming back. And we now have a list of the English voice cast that is going to be a part of. And those names include Anna Sawai, Simu Liu, Stephanie Sue, Steve Buscemi, George Takei, Harvey Guillén, Judith Light, interesting, Freddie Highmore, and Jodie Turner-Smith. Hey. So yeah, those are going to be in the English the English voices for season 3, which is going to be October 29th. Excuse me. There we go. I had a couple places off there, but there you go. Next up.
All right, so Peacemaker Season 2's big twist brings the show closer to his DC origins. I mean, we talked about it before. I'm not going to go too far into it, but that is the gist of this particular news article.
Yeah, pretty much. Next up, crips. There we go. James Gunn teases some Peacemaker characters, quote, will continue in another DC series. Quote, it's not exactly Peacemaker 3. And apparently there's some update on The Authority, which was, I guess, another thing that was supposed to be happening, may or may not be happening. I don't know. Let's see. Of course, as folks may or may not know, Peacemaker is supposedly the bridge for the next Superman movie, Man of Tomorrow. We may have gotten a little bit more sniffings of that in that last week's episode. But it doesn't seem like there might be a season 3 of Peacemaker at this point. And that the quote from Gunn is, "You're going to find out more in episode 8 because it's not necessarily that." Responding Gunn to a query about another season of Peacemaker. Also continues to quote with, "Some of these characters will continue, but also it's not exactly Peacemaker 3. I'm not ruling it out. You'll see in episode 8, and maybe you'll find out a little bit more then." So he's just pretty much hedging, him and Hallman around that. Next up.
So James Gunn confirms that Marvel exists in the DCU just as the DC universe exists in the MCU. And he also says that Edgar Wright would have directed the DC Realities Guardians of the Galaxy film since James Gunn does not exist in that universe. You know, these are references to in episode 6, there is the reference to the Spider-Man meme. And let's see here. And apparently the reference in the MCU is to Batman from the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Because everyone remembers that.
Right. I don't.
Yeah, that was the point. But also the fact that Gunn has used the same people in both universes. Let's be honest about that. But, you know, sure. Next up, though, DC Studios' Lanterns TV series will have a True Detective Season 1 vibe. Or at least that's what Jim Lee is telling people according to this article. So, so yeah, Lanterns is coming. Still 2026, but we don't know any exacts on that. But we know they're like filming and stuff right now. And this article says they don't still have any more about that outside of the fact that let's see. Jim Lee's dropped some hints about what might be expected in terms of vibe from the show. Longtime Green Lantern writer Steve Englehart had a conversation with Lee about the series, and he says Lee was very excited about what he's seen. Quote is, "I was told that it's going to be a lot like the first season of True Detective, very dark and weird. That is what I've been told by Jim Lee, and that's all I know," says Englehart. So we still know nothing. And there you go. Next up.
The Dark Knight Rises writer ends 13-year debate about Bruce Wayne's fate. That was a debate?
I said the exact same thing, but that's why I still had to put this article in.
So, you know, in the final act of The Dark Knight Rises, there's a you know, something of a callback to a funny Adam West moment from the 66 Batman. And at the end of the day, you know, we were meant to conclude that Alfred realizes that that Bruce was able to save Gotham and still live. So,
right. But apparently there was contention somewhere with somebody about that whole situation, according to this. Like, no, sometimes, you know, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess the thing was that what, you know, at the spoiler alert for Dark Knight, it's an old movie at this point. Apparently, you know, we see Alfred at the end. He sees maybe Bruce and Selena, but we don't actually get to see their faces. They're blurred out. So I guess the theory was it really them, or was he hallucinating? Like, this is only one of those things that seemed like it could have happened after the fact, well after the fact, because I don't think anybody watching at the time thought anything less than, nah, that's probably them.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. I could be wrong or crazy. Who knows? Either way, Vanglum asks, is Guy going to say time is a flat circle? Talking about lanterns? Probably. Next up, though, Rick Moranis officially ends retirement for Spaceballs 2, and the sequel announces full cast as filming starts. That was kind of the wild card here, because you know, notoriously curmudgeon Rick Moranis retired also, you know, apparently came back out for this for a reason. So we're gonna get some Dark Helmet action up. So here you go, folks. Next up,
Ernie Hudson spoke about his audition for Star Trek Deep Space Nine's lead role of Commander at that point, Benjamin Sisko. Ernie Hudson discussed losing the Sisko role to Avery Brooks and the unique audition experience he had. Both Hudson and Avery Brooks played the character Hawk in different Spencer franchise adaptations, Spencer for Hire. Hudson has yet to appear in any Star Trek series, but remains open to the opportunity. Okay.
yeah, I didn't know that Aaron Hudson had also played Hawk, but we definitely know Avery Brooks did. So that's kind of funny. I think no disrespect to Ernie Husband, Ernie Husband. I think we were better off with Avery Brooks as Cisco, especially the way he took the character. So yeah. Next up, though, The Walking Dead officially debuts a forgotten character from the comics, but not in a way you think. I don't know. I just had to say it like that. Apparently, this is spoilers for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. I'm not watching that show. I don't know anybody who is. Let's see. Who the heck is this person? They're talking about something called The Walking Dead Alien, which, as I asked last week, is The Walking Dead still amongst the shambling? And apparently it is. So let's see. The alien more likely relates to the protagonist of the story, Jeffrey Grimes. Also, his being a foreigner in Spain. Okay, so what does that have to do with? Oh, so Jeffrey Grimes is the character that they were talking about, and I guess that character got brought up during the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon show and whatever. Next up.
All right. Let's see what's next. Scrolling. Highlander. Jeremy Irons is set to play the villain opposite Henry Cavill in Amazon MGM's remake of Highlander. Oh, goody. I mean, that's the best I can do when it comes to a Jeremy Irons part that I know pretty well, which is Scar from The Lion King.
Oh, okay. You went there. I thought you were going with Alfred.
Oh no. Go. I'm always going to go Scar from Lion King.
Sure.
When I think of Jeremy Irons.
Sure. Oh yeah. Got some names still being added to this cast of Highlander. Go forth and I don't know what to say about that. Adult Swim's Robot Chicken, the complete series box set launching next month. So you too can get all 11 seasons of that show, which I think, as far as I know, is still on HBO Max at this point. Unless they took most of that off. Who knows with Zaslav in charge. But it's going to release October 21st. And it's going to be $105 at Amazon, according to this article. So, buck. Robot Chicken was pretty good, especially when they did the superhero stuff. But, yeah, that show's dumb. Next up, we get into some anime corner.
Transmute.
Doraemon TV anime gets a new ending theme for the first time in 20 years. Tani Yuki's Moshi Monogatari debuts as new ending on October 4th, which is this upcoming weekend, the opening weekend or the premiere weekend for several new anime drops. The long-running TV anime based on the gag manga Doraemon announced today that the series will get a new ending theme beginning with the episode to be broadcast in Japan on October 4th. Tani Yuki performs the new ending theme, which is entitled Moshi Monogatari. This marks the first new ending theme for the series since it was rebooted in 2005. Okay.
Next up, Chain Soldier Season 2 anime reveals Mira Kamiyutin character art. Let's see, there's a new season that's going to debut in Japan in January of 2026. Let's see. There is the character right there if you're watching the video version. This is a Shueisha joint who also did the original manga of the series. And let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh wait, so here's the description of the show. In a world where only women can gain superpowers, Yuki Wakura, seemed doomed to a boring future working in a secondary and caretaker position. Then fate literally changed his world, pulling him into the monster-filled Mato dimension. So it's an isekai, great. Where he's rescued by the dominating Kyoku Uzun, whose ability temporarily gives Yuki incredible power, at the cost of transforming him into her inhuman slave. So it is chickboxing all the things here. And I won't go on with it, but hey, if that is enough to get you interested in what this show, and you weren't already watching it already, there you go. It'll be on Crunchyroll. Next up.
Following its April 2025 premiere in Japan, Yanmar's original sci-fi anthology anime Miru, Paths to My Future, is now available to stream on Crunchyroll. You can catch all 5 episodes, each of which features a different director at the helm on Crunchyroll. Just very quickly, Miru is a weaponless robot born in the future that transcends time and space, caring for people across the ages. Through each encounter with Miru, these struggling souls take small steps toward recovery. One thing becomes certain: the future is in our hands. You're invited on a journey where some of the simplest changes create unexpected impacts. Okay.
I do love the Gundam reference in one of the episodes. And the first episode is called Episode 79, Stardust Memory, which if you're a Gundam fan, you already know. So that's amusing. The rest of them I couldn't tell you, but that one stuck out. Next up, The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 5 anime has been announced. So I know a lot of people like that show a lot, so I'm sure they're glad to hear this. So Season 5 is done and dusted according to this article, and the fire still burns, almost like Soul Calibur. For The Rising of the Shield Hero, after the anime announced with a new video and visual that a 5th season is officially in production, a release date has not been confirmed at the time of the recording, of course. So there you go. If you're watching the video version, you can see the what looks like to be the tweet and the teaser for it, and some other stuff for it. So there you go. Next up.
The official YouTube channel for singer Ado started streaming a music video for her latest song, Kaze to Watashi no Monogatari, the story of the wind and I, which is featured as a theme song for the silent service Chinmoku no Kantai in Japan, second theatrical film. Okay.
I saw Silent Service on like the video game, but not so much. Next up, Spy Family Season 3 anime reveals Spit's opening song and new video. As Agent 7 said earlier, this is one of the number of animes that is getting that is starting back up this weekend. We welcome it, embrace it fondly. But yes, let's see Season 3's opening song is Akari wo Mamaru by rock band Spitz. The full accompanying sequence without credits was also released early, so I assume that is attached to this article. And also Borf. Next up.
Borf. All right, so we are in, oh my goodness, manga corner.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second. Always with the ads. Attack on Titan is officially getting a new manga. No way. Let's see here. So Attack on Titan is getting a new 4-part manga The project Empower Your Skin is a collaboration apparently between Shiseido and or Shiseido, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, and Attack on Titan. So so Attack on Titan has collaborated with Shiseido, I believe it is, a Japanese cosmetics company. That's why you recognize the name. With Shiseido, Attack on Titan is getting a 4-episode short manga which will focus on men's skincare and various challenges that come with it. These challenges will be explored as fans expected via the men of Attack on Titan, such as Eren or Levi. That's funny. So where can you read the Attack on Titan collab? It's available on Shiseido's online store, and it's going to drop monthly. The first episode of the 4 has already been released. It dropped on September 16th and was titled Recognize the Hidden Weaknesses of Men's Skin. Okay.
So are they going to be doing Titan skincare? Is this what we're doing?
Listen, if that's going to be what convinces dudes to take care of their skin, you know what? More power to them.
I guess that's funny though. Apparently the first episode's already out.
Yeah, September 16th.
Mm-hmm. So go check it out. Maybe I'm sure Agent 70 may report back if he checks it out. Don't know. Next up though, Sailor Moon Premium Manga Box Set discounted to only $44 at Amazon, and this was from a few days ago. That may or may not be still the case. Might even be cheaper. We don't know. And also, I know Amazon, who I guess I was about to say wasn't a sponsor, but they actually are a sponsor, is about to have their Prime Day sales on the 7th and 8th or something. So take advantage just in case it still might be that price. But regardless, so yeah, the Sailor Moon box set is discounted to its lowest price yet, ahead of Prime Big Deal Days, like I just said. It was released in last November with a $78 cover price. It's 6 volumes, and the price at the time of this article was $43.56. So may or may not still be that same price. You can go check for yourself if you're interested. Next up.
1 second. Studio Ghibli reveals its limited edition My Neighbor Totoro plate for 2026. So this is a collector plate inspired by Hayao Miyazaki's beloved fantasy feature, My Neighbor Totoro. So Studio Ghibli's official online store, Donguri Sora, unveiled Totoro's 2026 plate, which features a beautiful design certain to delight fans of the acclaimed anime movie.
Sure. If you're watching the video version, you can see me scrolling through the pictures, the images, including the nice little stand. So
yeah, that's a cool looking design.
It is indeed. And you can see it a little bit, and there's the bottom of it. There you go. Okay. Next up, Crunchyroll's new app could revolutionize the market. So we talked about this back in January. Wow, it's been a while. When this was announced, because I remember asking, wasn't this already a thing? And it actually is, but still, I guess they're coming out with a new version of it. But it just sounds like they're doing a whole new thing. So yeah, first announced in January, Crunchyroll Manga will offer an official look during New York Comic Con 2025. Excuse me while I try to zap some of these ads. A new press release announced that the app will launch on the same day, October 9th, promising a revolutionary experience through a partnership with several publishing partners, including Alphapolis, Compass, Square Enix, Viz Media, and Yen Press. Additional partners like Shueisha, J Novel Club, Third Line Next, Highstone, and more will follow in the future. Now, the part that you really want to know about, the second part that you really want to know about, the series available to read will include One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demons of the Shadow Realm, The Apocalyptic Diaries, Delicious Dungeons, My Dress Up Darling, The Summer Hikaru Died. There's a few others in here. We don't have to necessarily go through that whole list, but pricing, folks. Here you go. So Crunchyroll Manga promises fans can get rid of multiple subscriptions and purchases by having the most popular series all in one place. This will be a premium add-on to the Crunchyroll subscription service with the following prices. So on the fan subscription plus manga, it's $11.99 USDs. Includes manga add-on at $4. And for the mega fan subscription, which is I think the highest tier for Crunchyroll, it's $15.49 and it is included. I'm sorry, that's the second tier. Sorry, includes manga add-on for $3.50 USDs. But if you're paying for the ultimate fan tier, which is $15.99 a month, and that's the highest tier, then you automatically get the new manga service. So it says all tiers include unlimited ad-free reading across mobile, tablet, and web, plus the ability to download chapters for offline reading. It says hundreds of chapters from hundreds of titles will be available from day one, with new ones added later as the library expanded. This is potentially cool, actually, because we have talked in the past about, like the Viz Media manga apps and how there's two different ones and how they kind of have two different, they're serving two different things. Right. Like they have they have like the popular stuff in one app, and then they have the more esoteric stuff or whatever the case may be in the other app. And there's a little bit of crossover, but not much. So you didn't know whether you should get one or both. Which it was going to hold to. This seemed like it's kind of going along that lines, but it sounds like it's going probably for the more popular stuff. Like, again, we don't know the whole of everything that's going to be in here, but this seems promising, especially if you're already paying for Crunchyroll, which I remember trying to mess with some stuff. I looked at some stuff in the app, but the offerings weren't like the greatest and stuff I actually probably wouldn't mess with a whole lot of, but this kind of makes that a little bit more tempting.
Definitely. I mean, we'll see how it all shakes out and how it shakes up the marketplace and kind of shakes out eventually to see if there's any sort of change in, subscribing habits and practice, for myself. So
right. Also, there's a couple other things this thing mentions, because that's something oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Don't do that. Please leave. So yeah, Shueisha also has its own app called Manga Plus. That part I knew because I remember trying to mess with it. And Square Enix and Yen Press also have their own apps. So the fact that they're all in this are involved in this app is interesting in itself. So just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, we'll let y'all know how we, because we will be taking a look at it probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stop by the Crunchyroll booth and look at the preview at New York Comic Con. So,
so and we're both Crunchyroll members anyway, so I'm pretty sure
Right. I'm not like the top. I'm not the top subscriber. Same. I think I'm one of the middle ones. So.
Right. But because there's only three. Because you're either going to be fan that middle one or the whatever the top tier is. So, and I think we might actually be in the same tier, which might be that either the middle one
like
or the
mega
bottom one. I can't remember.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the middle.
Yeah. So.
Because I think the middle one is all about like how many simultaneous streams you can have or something like that. So.
Right. And and like and while there was a manga app, you could still get into with that. It's like I said, they really didn't surface it all that much. So I guess this is their way of surfacing that a little bit more than they used to. So anyway, a little bit not longer, but that's actually good news for manga folks, or potentially good news for manga folks. Next up, though.
On September 22nd, 2025, Webtoon Entertainment announced its biggest ever appearance at New York Comic Con, taking place next week, Thursday, October 9th through Sunday, October 12th. This year, Webtoon will bring premium giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and creator signings with some of the industry's most exciting talent, offering fans the chance to connect more closely with their favorite stories and creators. Cool, good for them.
And by the way, just on a side note, K-pop Demon Hunter costumes are at Spirit of Halloween because of course they are.
Because of course they are.
I just saw that on the side, so I figured I'd throw it in. And also, there's a couple other K-pop Demon Hunter things, including ramen. Yes, I'll probably put this in the show notes. But so kids' costumes will hit the store shelves at the company's website in early October, with adult sizes available online only. Prices have ranged from $59.99 for kids to $69.99 for adults, with Rumi's iconic purple wig sold separately for $26.99. So, all you Halloweenies out there, get on it. You probably already had your costumes already made, but you know what? You got options now.
Right. Well, I was about to say, for the people who are not, either ordering them online, like ordering like specially made ones, or like the whatever dropped right after the movie dropped, they're now commercially available.
Right. So, again, of course they are.
Of course they are. That's right. That's right.
Anyway, next up, let's see. Where's that? Oops. Adventure Time gets a new spin from award-winning cartoonist Caroline Cash, which we talked about last week, who took over Nancy. Let's see. This is going to be a standalone 56-page Adventure Time book called The Bubbling College Special #1 from Oni Press. It is actually in stores now because apparently it came out yesterday as of this recording, which was October 1st. Let's see. Yeah, but no fan is more excited to see it come out than Caroline Cash, who wrote and drew the story. There's a quote here. I've been a fan of the show since it came out. As a gay teenager, I was obsessed with the show because I thought it was clever and funny, and I still do. Since the show ended, I didn't think I would ever have a chance to work on anything Adventure Time related. So this has been a bit of a dream come true, end quote. It's a one-shot story that takes place in an alternate universe, but part of Adventure Time canon, and tells the backstory of Princess Bubblegum and Merceline, who are two characters from the show, which I'm sure Adventure Time fans know full well who they are. So, cool. Next up.
Get a first look at upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Godzilla comic book exclusive. So, we have a sneak peek on this in this article of an unfinished bit from issue number 3. The official synopsis for the series is: long before the organization was corrupted by Shredder, the Foot Clan's original purpose was to save Japan from kaiju. Now in the present day, Godzilla and its fellow monsters have reappeared. Not only is the Foot not prepared to stop them, it would seem Shredder himself is behind the attacks. The villainous ninja is attempting to use the kaiju to create a new mutagen, one that would give his henchmen a massive upgrade. Can the Turtles make it to Japan in time to stop this madness?
Yeah, if you're watching the video version, you've seen a couple of covers. There's a couple of lettered pages, and there's Godzilla, and there's some Foot, and yeah, that's weird. And it comes out next week.
Nice.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Let's see. Be sure to pre-order your copy of the debut issue by October 6th. Which I guess that's the final order cutoff. But did it say actually when it's coming out? I am not seeing, but given that if we're having preview pages, I'm going to assume next week. Next up, though, there's an unfinished Batman story by the late Marshall Rogers, and writer Steve Englehart says DC might want to publish it and finish this story. So Steve Englehart and Marshall Rogers' Detective Comics run, according to this article, is one of the most celebrated Batman stories of all time. Right. The 77 storyline introduced Rupert Thorne and Silver St. Cloud and told an adult-oriented Batman story with mature themes. Some have argued that it served as a basis from for Tim Burton's 1989 Batman film, which Englehart wrote early story treatments for, apparently, according to this article. 2005, Englehart and Rogers reunited for Batman Dark Detective, which was a 6-issue limited series that continued their story. And see, Rogers passed away in 2007. And after his death, DC decided to shelve the series. However, Englehart has always maintained hope that those unpublished scripts would see the light of day. According to this article, Englehart says he's been in touch with DC Comics publisher Jim Lee, which we found out earlier he was, who says that he is interested in completing the Dark Detective saga. Quote, Jim Lee is, quote, talking about maybe publishing some of them, Englehart said during a panel at DragonCon. I take Jim at his word. When I say that, it's not like he's equivocating or shining me on. He doesn't know whether he can publish them. The unpublished The Batman, the third run that Marshall did while he was doing it, Jim would like to do that. We're going to make that happen, I think. And yeah, and it goes on from there. But so, yeah, we shall see if that happens. And there you go. Next up.
Just one moment. I've just got to double check my calendar here. So, Mass Appeal and Marvel have teamed up to release the first issue of a limited edition comic book series, Legend Has It, inspired by the album series of the same name. The comic book series honors 7 of New York's most influential artists, Nas and DJ Premier, Ghostface Killah, Mobb Deep, Raekwon, Big L, De La Soul, and Slick Rick. Legend Has It blends Marvel's iconic storytelling with Mass Appeal's deep cultural roots to celebrate the timeless impact of these artists through a dynamic new medium. Written by Brendan Thomas and illustrated by Sanford Green, the narrative weaves together music, myth, and legacy, creating a highly sought-after collectible for fans of hip-hop, comics, and pop culture. Issue 1 will debut on October 10th at New York Comic Con, where a live panel will feature Nas and various surprise guests to discuss the intersection of hip-hop and superhero mythology. The comic will also be available for purchase in limited qualities at the event. So, I have a different article that says that Mass Appeal will take over Whatnot's live shopping stage, Whatnot House at New York Comic Con on October 10th from 5:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. To commemorate the launch. So I've got to check the panel schedule here.
Indeed. Hopefully,
Right.
can
You can get limited copies. I'm sorry, very quickly. Limited copies will be available at the booth, at the Whatnot booth. So that's, I guess, going to be one of the places I hit up on Friday.
Yes, and hopefully Agent 70 can get both of us a copy.
If they're available, listen, because this sounds like something that might go very quickly.
Yes. Also, not surprising that Nas is involved in this because, after all, he is, if I'm not mistaken, one of the founders of Mass Appeal. If I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So, synergy, some would say. But yeah, I saw this from Sanford Green's one of Sanford Green's Instagram stories. So, and honestly, even if I hadn't seen it there, if you know Sanford Green's art, you kind of can tell it.
Oh, of course, it's right. That cover is a dead giveaway.
Exactly. So even if I did not see it from him, I was like, yeah, I know who's doing the art. If anything else. So shout out to former guest of the show, Sanford Green. Also.
Absolutely.
Hometown dude. So, but yeah, also
I was about to say, he's a regular at New York, and
he's around. Yeah,
I did see him at San Diego this year. So,
and I'm pretty sure he was at Heroes too, because he's usually always there. So I didn't go. But yeah, like Agent 70 said, yeah, it's at the Whatnot booth. I just pulled up the tweet that I assume Agent 70 pulled up. So yeah, hopefully we can get a couple copies. If not, hopefully we'll be able to see it some kind of way. Next up, though, Jason Aaron reveals behind-the-scene challenges developing Star Wars Marvel comic during the sequel trilogy's production. Let's see. He was talking at Fan Expo Canada, and said that they had pretty specific restrictions put in place when writing stories related to the original trilogy characters who were set to appear in the sequel trilogy movies. For instance, because Luke Skywalker has a scene early on in The Last Jedi that involves him fishing, any scene involving Luke fishing was deemed off limits to Aaron and other writers. Quote, during the comics, we were very much the low men on the...
Sorry, that was me.
Okay.
I'm trying to reserve some stuff at New York Comic Con.
Okay. Quote, during the comics, we were very much the low men on the totem pole, and it was, well, you can't do this because they're doing something in a movie that's similar, but they're not the same at all, though. I was told at one point, this is Aaron talking, and it goes back to that fishing thing and whatnot. It says, it basically says, sounds like Aaron found it kind of frustrating at times with stuff like that, which, yeah, I can understand that. So, but yeah, there's other things he kind of mentions in this article, and you can find out for yourself in the show notes. And next up, we get
Amazon in stock alert.
Yep.
Yeah, Hasbro Marvel Legends retro card back Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze, I guess, is back in stock on Amazon. I ended up getting this, I think, on Hasbro Pulse. So I know they must have sent out, their shipments, because I did get a notice that this was getting ready to ship from Hasbro Pulse as well.
Johnny Blaze. So yeah, if you're looking for an OG Ghost Rider, and like granted, this article is a couple of days old, so
right, ain't a damn thing changed.
Exactly. Next up.
Next up, Fantastic Four First Steps Hot Toys Johnny Storm figure. Alrighty.
I mean, I guess since it is the Human Torch, it would be a hot toy. Boom, boom.
Sure. You can pre-order the figure via Sideshow Collectibles. It's priced at $270.
Because it's Sideshow.
Of course.
I mean, because it's Hot Toys, excuse me. But there you go. Detailed. If for those not watching the video version, it's half human form, half flame version of Johnny. In other words, he is flaming on. So,
right, and it's adjustable because obviously those are kind of clip-on pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, this is Hot Toys, so it's cloth.
Oh yeah.
Fabric costume.
Mm-hmm. Detailed. So there you go. I'm sure. Joseph Quinn? I think that's his name. I'm pretty sure he's probably already got one.
I would hope.
Yeah. Next up. Part one of two bits of news that I'm excited about. There was some gameplay footage of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls at Tokyo Game Show that featured Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the video that is attached to this here article. It was some good stuff. I still cannot wait for this game. Both characters were playable at Tokyo Game Show this past week. So yeah, from what I saw of it looked pretty good.
Right, and we still don't have a release date, right?
No, but it's no. But given that they're this far, I'm sure we will probably get that fairly soon.
Got it. So, Marvel Cosmic Invasion also may not have a release date yet, but it does have a demo. So on October 1st, Tribute Games and publisher Dotemu announced and released a free playable demo for the upcoming Marvel Cosmic Invasion. The demo contains 2 full levels with boss fights, supports both local and online co-op, and features 9 playable characters: Rocket Raccoon, Nova, Phyla-Vell, She-Hulk, Venom, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Storm, and Captain America. Okay.
Yeah, that's more than half of the roster right there.
Yeah, just a real quick, if you're not familiar, Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a side-scrolling 2D retro-inspired beat 'em up.
Yeah. And we can't wait for it. And a
Yep.
few other people that I know of can't wait for it either. So yeah, hopefully, well, if you're joining us live, hopefully you will join us again when hopefully tomorrow or you'll see the VOD for it because it'll probably be out there for a little bit when I'm gonna try to run through the demo. Like I told Agent 7, I was gonna try to do it before the show, but didn't necessarily have the time to do so. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out. Next up, though, first in-depth look at Magic the Gathering's Secret Layer with collaboration with PlayStation, which is going to be launching this October. So basically, it's Magic the Gathering cards with PlayStation characters on it. If you're watching the video version, you can see the cards there. So you got a little bit of Nathan Drake. You got some Aloy from Horizon. You got, of course, the God of War. You got Joel from Last of Us. That looks like a Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, that looks like a Jin from Ghost of Tsushima. And also it looks like an Ellie character, an Ellie card from Last of Us. And also Boy from God of War. So yeah, there is that. The secret drops are usually like $40, $40, $50 for foiled. But $40 for normal stuff. Like I said, there's the cards. There's the stuff right there. If you're interested, let me see when does this actually? Does we have a date for when this? Secret layers are kind of weird sometimes because depending on oh, there we go. Depending on when they go on sale, the trying to get them is real dumb. But let's see, October 27th is when they will be available, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific. So that would be noon for you Easterners, for us Easterners. I would say if you want to do that, maybe get in line about 11:30 and make sure your payment stuff is squared away because, like I said, it gets real dumb and real hitchy. Next up, though.
Okay. McFarlane Toys Flashback DC Multiverse Batman the Merciless. My God. This is the Dark Multiverse from DC Comics' Dark Knight's Metal storyline. Let's see here. Yeah, this is from Earth 12. This, that's where this Dark Multiverse Batman came from. Let's see here. Pricing. Right, so this is, my God, how is this available? All right, so it's ending. No, wait, hold on. I'm trying to see what the details are on this. Or has this been released already?
Yeah, don't think so. Well, yeah, it says yes, actually. It looks like you can get it now at $79.99 at GameStop at least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least this set that's on here is the Batman Who Laughs and the Merciless action figures. So yeah, it's out there, looks like. Although the pictures they have here and the pictures that were
different, right?
Yeah. Or that's strange. But yeah. Either way, sure, it's out there. Let's just next up though, Batman failsafe protocol arrives with McFarlane's DC Multiverse. The pre-order orders are open at $50 with failsafe's release scheduled for October 2025 to according to this article to join your Batman display. So there is the picture right there. I mean, there's the stuff right there. Neither one of these I've read. I didn't read Dark Knight's Metal, and I didn't read that whole failsafe story, which I think kind of led into what's going on now, just a smidge. So, sure, is failsafe a good character, or not a good character? But you know what I'm saying, is it a compelling character? 87, because didn't
You
you
got
read
me.
it? Oh, I thought you read it.
No.
Okay, next up.
I read parts of it, but compelling character I think is a stretch.
Gotcha.
On Thursday, September 25th, a new 2-pack based on the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong comic series from DC Comics will go up for pre-order. McFarlane Toys shared a preview of their Wonder Woman versus Atomic Blast Godzilla 2-pack. The set will be available from select retailers. I'm looking for a price. Probably $79.99.
Yeah, that seems about right. Also, if you want a Krillin, or Krillin, as we say here in the States, I guess you can go
Put it in!
You can go to Bandai for that. I just happened to click the thing on the side by mistake. Kind of my mistake. Anyway, McFarlane Toys unveils new Harley Quinn crowdfunding DC figure. Let's see. It is a Harley Quinn Suicide Squad figure via its drawing board crowdfunding platform. 4 unlockable tiers, including standard deluxe Joker figure and classic comic Harley Quinn variant. Accessories include extra heads, hands, weapons, temporary tattoos, and mini movie posters. Pricing ranges from $29.99 to $69.99, with pledges accepted until October 28th, 2026, for all Harley Quinn fans. And if you're watching the video version, you can see, yep, that is definitely Suicide Squad Harley, from the first Suicide Squad movie specifically. That should be pointed out. Yep, got the bat, got the hands, got the couple of heads, got the mallet, and of course that, well, nobody's perfect, but there's a Joker figure also, apparently, that you could get in, I assume, as a tier. And there's another, and there's that. So yeah, next up.
4 new Mafex 6-inch scale figures from Metacom are beginning to go up for pre-order. From Marvel Comics comes the X-Men Comics version of Gambit. On the DC side, you get 3 movie figures, including Black Manta from Aquaman, Peacemaker from the Suicide Squad movie, as well as Bloodsport from the Suicide Squad movie. They're all, at least right now, priced at about $93, but that's a conversion of the price from in yen. The actual pre-order price is probably going to be a little higher. Thank you, tariffs.
It's a sad thing that we have to say that now. We don't have to say that, but the fact that we do say that now.
Right.
But yeah, next up, New Age Toys has updated their Facebook account with images of their new H-72 Typhon, which is new Dinobot and Volcanicus combiner. Let's see. New Age revealed a new Dinobot member who can transform into Ankylosaurus Scar, according to this post. And it also forms a big body frame to combine the other New Age legend scale Dinobots into Volcanicus. So H-72 Typhon includes a sword, hammer, shield, and some extra parts for Volcanicus. And you can check out the images in this her article. Next up.
XM Studios Optimus Prime Azure Dragon. Okay, so these are official renders for this toy. For the statue, I'm sorry. Azure Dragon Mythical Beast Series statue. There's a color version, a gold version, and a shadow version Azure Dragon. With each of them is limited to a certain number of units. Oh my gosh. Looking for pricing. Don't see any, but I'm sure this is expensive. These are statues after all, folks.
Yep. Indeed. Actually, wait. Holy cow. I just clicked through. Oh, wait, hold on. 2,588. Is that US? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Yeah, hold on. Okay, all of the prices are not in USDs. So, yeah, this is definitely a not US thing, but it's, yeah, again, tariffs and what other conversions you're going to have to go through to check that out. So be it.
Right. Hold on. So if I select a country, maybe that helps.
Yeah. Oh, well, you still have to do some
no, wait. This is
conversion.
only in Asia. So
Right,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah. You're also talking about import fees. So that should be fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Next up, though. Oh, is it me? Transformers returns nearly 40 years old Nintendo release with unexpected new reveal. So they basically made an 8-bit that looks like Ultra Magnus. But never mind that. We're talking about gear, merch, fashion items. So yeah, if you're watching the video version, you can see there's a jacket with both the Autobot and Decepticon logos on it, and something on the back, which looks like might be Prime's head. There's some socks. There's a backpack. Is that a sweatshirt and a pillow, and pillow with Optimus and Ultra Magnus on it. Apparently, there's hats. That Ultra Magnus thing was a pin. So there you go, and some other things. There's other T-shirts that are along with this. This was produced by Game Glorious and was initially sold at 2025 Tokyo Game Show, and so, which means this is probably something that we probably would not see over here in the States, but there's prices for that stuff that was over there. Next up,
TFCon, Transformers Con, is very pleased to welcome Ralph Macchio. Not that Ralph Macchio. Instead, it's the writer of Marvel Comics Transformers #1 and the Transformers the movie comic adaptation to TFCon Chicago 2025. Let's see. So this is America's largest fan-run Transformers convention, presented by the Chosen Prime. Tickets are on sale at www.tfcon.com.
indeed. So,
I was about to say that's not an original joke. I have heard that, not that Ralph Macchio thing,
right,
forever. I think they published that in the pages of Marvel Comics, back when Ralph Macchio was an active editor,
right,
and writer with Marvel Comics.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But it's still funny. these years later. Next up, though, Cobra rises with Iron Studios' new G.I. Joe Baroness 110 scale figure. So get your Baroness on, goons. Let me stop. I mean, somebody's probably. Anyway, let's see, it's 8.7 inches tall. She's depicted in her iconic black leather outfit, according to this article, with flowing black hair, glasses, and weapons in her hand. The statue is highly detailed, of course, because it is Iron Studios as it is, and the pre-order price is 200 bones, with a release date for June 2026. And again, Iron Studios. There you go. Look through that really, really quick. Like blam, blam. And it's got a little Cobra on the side. An actual Cobra. Or an actual Cobra thing. Not an actual Cobra. Next up.
2 upcoming Masters of the Universe items are now up for pre-order via Target. These include the latest additions to the Masters of the Universe Transformers and Masters of the Universe Stranger Things mashups. These are listed as online only and are not available in stores. So first is the Optimus Prime Armor He-Man, which includes a sword, a shield, and an axe. It's priced at $29.99, with a release set for January 2026. There's a Hordak and a Hellfire He-Man 2-pack featuring a glow-in-the-dark Hordak, a bat, a guitar, a sword, and a flail. It's priced at $34.99 with a release set for December. And now we also have a Starscream Armor Scare Glow is now live as well. Look at that.
Yeah, as I flip through these images, that's some funny shit right there. There's the Starscream thing.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. The Scare Glow, that's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
The Emperor Starscream at that, which we know what his fate was. So actually,
Feed him to the Sharktacons. I'm kidding.
the Skeletor actually didn't look terrible either. And actually, I don't have to mention this. So the next article is about the Stranger Things thing, so we don't have to mention that because that was in there also. Next up, though, I will say, Mattel reveals new She-Ra Princess of Power and Swiftwind 2-pack, not Tupac. There's the packaging right there. There is She-Ra on her horse with power sword blazing high. And another couple of shots therein there's a couple with some enemies. And yeah, let's see, the 2-pack is going to be, 5.5 inch articulated She-Ra with cape, shield, and her iconic sword of protection. Swiftwind is 7.8 inches tall with 21 points of articulation, removable armor, and display ready wings. And the collectors can purchase this from Mattel Creations sites with the price of $60.
Yeah, it's available now.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I think I saw this on display at the Mattel booth at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm pretty sure I did.
Huh. 40 years. Yeah, so it celebrates the 40th anniversary of She-Ra, by the by.
Pretty sure I did. So
next up.
See. Yeah, it's available now. I may
Yeah.
I may end up ordering this as a gift.
Sure.
I'm gonna leave that open. Let's see here. Hell yeah, I want a Gundam keyboard with top ray switches. I have no idea what the hell top ray switches are, but it is a keyboard thing.
These are mechanical switches. I can't remember.
I'm guessing.
Sure.
That's what I was gonna say. You read my next thought.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 4 limited edition mechanical keyboards inspired by the popular Gundam designs from the Japanese keyboard brand Real Force. They're based on Z Gundam and various other Gundam animations. Real Force Japanese site indicates reservations will begin in late December, but there's no pricing. Oh.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with the byline on this article. It's like, yeah, but they don't go hard enough. I mean, these are nice looking though. Don't get me wrong. These are interesting looking keyboards. I'm debating about whether I should get a mechanical keyboard or not. I don't know.
No keypads. Oh no, there are keypads.
Yeah.
The OG colors have has a keypad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go, folks. That's out there. But speaking of Gundams, we get into some Gunpla stuff here, because of course we will. So let's see. Bless you. A little bit of Gunpla with 2025 Inazuma Rock FES or FES will have a booth featuring the Bandai Spirits Hobby Division. With this featuring an exclusive Gundam plastic model kit that's sure to shine in the darkness, according to this article. This kit is going from the Gundam Seed Freedom series. It says this model kit is both striking and oddly ecological. There's also a special bonus for those who purchase it at the event, but fans who are unable to attend will have another chance to get a hold of this unique Gunpla. This is, and if you're watching the video version, you can see the model right there. And here's another version of the model, I believe, that you can also purchase, which is the Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam. in neon blue. So there you go. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there is a price. I am not seeing. Oh wait, 3,300 yen, or approximately $22. And looks like this is from a few days ago, so I don't know if you can still get this thing. That event that these were at was from the 20th and the 21st. So yeah, but you might be able to still get it from attached sites, presumably. So there you go. Next up,
Bandai revives a 15-year-old Gundam anime with surprise perfect grade Gunpla reveal. So this is being re-released. So Premium Bandai is reissuing the PG 160th RXO or Zero Unicorn Gundam Final Battle version and the PG 160th Unicorn Gundam 03 Phoenix narrative version. These are derived from the Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn and Mobile Suit Gundam narrative OVAs, which came out at the beginning and tail end of the 2010s. Pricing, and availability. We're looking now available to order through the Premium Bandai website. The Unicorn Gundam model kit is about $187, whereas the Phoenix is about $366. Wow, with both expected to ship out sometime in October.
Never watched Unicorn Gundam. I was about to. I don't know if Von Gloom is still in the chat. I was going to ask him if this was his Gundam show of note. I feel like I remember him saying that. I could be wrong also. But yeah, there you go. It's out there for you Gunpla enthusiasts like the budding Agent 70 here.
I still haven't opened mine up, but I plan on it. You know, things have gotten very busy in the last couple of weeks, and obviously with New York Comic Con basically taking up next weekend, and this weekend is probably going to be kind of prepping for New York Comic Con, you know, mixed in with other normal things. So it's a pretty busy time. I have not yet had a chance to kind of sit and meditate over these Gundam models.
Yeah, and now you're about to have another chance to get another kit, so embrace it. Next up,
what other channel? Oh, you mean at New York Comic Con?
Yeah.
I don't need. I can walk into a regular schmegular store and get another kit if I really want to.
Yeah, but what if they have something special there?
We'll see.
Anyway, Nacelle reveals first look at renders and accessories for T'Pol and BIM, Star Trek action figures. So this is wave 2 of their Star Trek action figure set. The pre-orders are coming later this year, excuse me. So wave 2 characters include Captain Kirk from Star Trek Generations, Captain Janeway from Year of Hell, Worf and Geordi from Generations, Star Trek Generations, T'Pol from, of course, Star Trek Enterprise Season 3, specifically, Valeris from Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. I don't who. The Romulan commander from Balance of Terror, Dr. Carol Marcus from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Nog from DS9, Season 6 specifically, and BIM, from Star Trek, the animated series. There you go. Okay. And you can see T'Pol in all of her accoutrement right there if you're watching the video version, and BIM with his, I do remember this character with his arms. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this article is noting that BIM is the first nacelle figure from the animated series, and this one will have will be able to separate in distinct pieces, like arm fall off boy. That's a weird pull. Let's see. BIM is going to be $28.99, and T'Pol is, I don't see the price for. Oh, here we go. Also $28.99. So there you go. They had the figures in the pictures differently placed, but then I guess they intended to do that. Regardless, there you go. Next up.
You're gonna need a bigger boat to store this massive Jaws Lego set celebrating the movie's 50th anniversary. One,
I'm too old for this shit.
50. I know. Listen, I know it was on television. I know they've already talked about honoring the 50th anniversary of the movie. But yo, for real, this is 1,500 pieces and multiple minifigures, and it looks really good. You can recreate a bunch of different scenes. Basically, this Lego set is $150 plus shipping and handling. But yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Jaws is one of the earliest movies I remember seeing, which, you know, some would argue that would probably be not the best thing for a young kid, but
Listen, Jaws is one of those life lessons that sticks with you, even though it probably didn't mean to teach you that particular life lesson. You know what that life lesson is? There's sharks in those water. There's sharks in that water. Are you kidding me?
Yes. Although some would argue sharks have been getting a bad rap because of it, but I say the nay. Yeah. Oh, and the other lesson is, of course, from Mallrats is you should fear and respect the escalator. Just saying.
My God. Oh my God.
Last but not least.
God.
I just had to.
No. See, the worst part about that, right? Because we're right near the end of the show, is now I've got in my head the beginning to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Because now what's running through my head is is their riff on Jungle Love by Morris Day and the Time.
Yeah. Oh gee. Who
put
both
that
just got
blank in my hand.
Who
If that
both
money
just got,
doesn't show.
Yeah. Both of those characters just got put into Call of Duty and they look weird.
Oh.
As playable characters.
Can you owe me? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Last but not least, puppets and props from Muppets creator Jim Henson's archives going up for auction for the first time. As I scroll past that orange bastard, let's see. So yeah, props including stuff from Fraggle Rock and the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. There are also characters autographed by Miss Piggy herself. Hey. The Jim Henson Company said that this will be the first auction from its archives, making the announcements on a past weekend or this past Wednesday or Wednesday before last, whatever, on what would have been its founder's 89th birthday. That would be Jim Henson himself. Let's see. The auction comes as the Jim Henson Company is celebrating its 70th anniversary. And it's more than 400 items, props, costumes, set pieces, autographed memorabilia, posters, and puppets, will be available. They were selected from tens of thousands of pieces, said Karen Falk, director of the company's archives. According to this article, one of the highlights will be a full-body puppet of Naya Drenchen Gelfling from the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Let's see. California-based Julian's Auctions, which is handling the sale, estimates the puppet's value between $15,000 and $25,000. So there you go. I don't know if there's any way to. Oh wait, here we go. Nope. No. I was about to say, trying to see if there's a link to the auction in this article, but there is not. But folks, that is it for the news section. Before we get into the last ad read, I have a little bit of Toy Corner, actually, really quickly. Cool. Just a little bit. As I said last week, I was expecting a package, and that package has arrived. It is, of course, my box of Marvel's Spider-Man Magic the Gathering cards. So yeah,
nice.
I'm debating about actually going to get another booster or get one of those gift packs but I don't know. So yeah, as you can see, it's still sealed, and I have not cracked open any of these
Yeah, how many
bad boys
booster
yet.
packs come in there?
30.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, so there's different packs. There's one was like usually the collector's ones are like 16. These are the ones that usually are in the store that you just buy single packs from.
Right.
And those are usually 30, and then there's like gift packs and other things that you can get, and scene packs and all the kind of stuff. Sadly, sets not fully in Magic Arena, which is the online version of Magic that you can play Magic the Gathering on, because they had some stupid licensing thing, which I think I've probably talked about, that they had to change that, so they had to change the cards, and so you don't get the Spider-Man cards in the game, which I feel like they could have done something about and didn't. Anyway, that's just me. So yeah, I got a bunch of cards that I can deal with, even though I don't play much paper Magic. But I am still a collector, so we shall see. I need to go through it. I know somebody who found a pretty expensive card in their set that they got, and they sold it off for another card. So there's gold in them, their cards, if you're willing to look. But that, folks, is it for my show and tell. Whether you see me cracking packs open one of these days, we'll see. Who knows? But let's get to our last ad read of the night.
Our last ad read of the night: keep our podcast free by shopping at Amazon. Visit cspn.us and click the Keep Our Podcast Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down and click on the Amazon link to shop. Purchase items from Amazon as you normally would, whether it's books, music, electronics, jewelry, apparel, etc. Or Marvel Legends. For every purchase made on Amazon through our link, Amazon sends the CSPN a payment that helps us keep the Comic Book Chronicles podcast free for our listeners at no extra cost to you. Amazon.com through CSPN.us. Do it today.
Or Magic the Gathering cards, but support your local game shop, folks.
Yes, do that.
I say as I got that from Amazon. Anyway, so yeah, folks, so we are at the end of the show, and now a little bit of housekeeping. As Agent 70 has been mentioning all throughout the show, next week is, and we both have really, but still, next week of New York Comic Con, so we will probably have some changing in the recording of the show because of that. Hopefully we're going to get some live feeds from Agent 70, but I'll leave that to him for that.
It's hard to pull off because the Thursdays and Fridays are pretty late travel in terms of getting back from the con. And what's funny is that I just checked that Mass Appeal panel with Nas is not scheduled until Friday night at 8:00 p.m.
Oofa.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. So that's a long day. Right, because that's definitely going to be a day that I'm going to be spending most of the day at the con, so that's pretty tough.
So hopefully you will see pictures and stuff, and Agent 70 trying to get cosplayers' numbers. I don't know that actually for sure, but if he does, I wouldn't. Actually, that just reminded me something I have to show him after the show. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, we're stay tuned to our social medias for that, because there may be a solo show. We may hold off the show for a couple of days, or but there will be something next week for certain. I can.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, because sometimes we have to play a little bit of this by ear. So
right,
because schedules are fluid and things pop up, especially with the con. We get invited to parties and whatnot. I know that I've got a party invite for Thursday, and that panel, that Nas panel, is now late on Friday, so those are going to be 2 late nights for me, right at the top of the con. So
and of course, with the coming of New York Comic Con, you can also I would hope to expect to see a showing of our friend of the show, Matt Wang 97 the week after that. So we have to try to get him on the show for the the con update.
I was about to say the post-con recap.
Yes. So we'll have to remember that for the week after that, or Well, I don't know. He might be busy that one. We'll see. Like I said, depending on how we play it next week going forward. But
Absolutely.
But like I said, stay tuned to our social medias, which will be as followed. You can find me, Roddykat, at Roddykat on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can find me at News Nerds Need at Twitter and Blue Sky. You can also find me at CBCaps on Instagram. Aiden_70 on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads. Again, stay tuned for his Instagram, so where all the hot con pics are going to be. There you go.
Yep.
And you can find this here podcast on the Cold Slither Podcast Network. That's cspn.us.
Do it today.
You can also find us on your podcast place of choice, whether it be Apple iTunes, aka Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the Cold Slither Podcast Network's SoundCloud page.
Make sure to click like, subscribe, and leave us all the positive 5-star reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that helps people find our show.
Now watch me copy and paste that and put it at the beginning of the show also. You can also find us most of the time recording on Thursday nights, 9:30/10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/TheClickNation and twitch.tv/Comic Book Chronicles.
Make sure to click like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when we're on live. Smash that like button.
Indeed. And as I said earlier, I am going to definitely try to get a stream of Marvel Cosmic Invasion demo going probably the day after this is recording, so it should be out there on Twitch. If that actually happened, or when that actually happens, on twitch.tv/Comic Book Chronicles, so you can check that out if you haven't already played the demo yourself.
Alrighty.
And on that note, folks, this has been the Comic Book Chronicles. Peace.
Peace. One.
My time is up.